It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome, welcome. It's the Jill on Money Show, the program that attempts to take the mystery out of your financial life. And we do that in a very methodical way. We talk to you about what's going on in your financial life, or maybe your big, larger life, where your finances have a role to play. If you've got a question, just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and let us know if you would like to join us on the air live. It's very easy to do. Mark does everything. Let's start the show off on a strong foot. It's Barbie, who's on the line from the Northeast.
I want to know two things. One, if I'm on track to retire at age 70. I know you like 70 as an age. And two, I want to know if I can change careers or step back from my current career into a career I'm familiar with, which has potentially less earning than my current career.
Okay, that seems fair. How old are you right now, Barbie?
I am 60, and
Okay.
I read The Great Money Reset, which has really gotten me thinking about this. So.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's awesome. Right now, you're working, right?
I am. I'm working. I currently make $185,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
All my children are grown and off the payroll. I don't even pay their cell phone bills. I'm single, but I have an ex-husband, and I have a lifetime alimony payment to him.
Lifetime?
Yes, his or mine, whichever comes first.
Okay, what's the alimony amount?
After tax, it's $30,000 a year. So it's about $2,500 a month.
I just want to get back to the $185,000 for a second. Are you making retirement contributions based on that income?
I am. So I contribute to the max, the 30,000 max this year, into my 401k. When I started, after my divorce, I had only 165,000 in total retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So I really had to kind of start over because I had to give up a house and stuff like that.
How much do you have and this is pre-tax, right?
Pre-tax, yeah.
Okay, and how much is your 401k value now?
Okay, so I've got a couple of things. So I've got two 401ks, one that I had with a previous company and one with the current company.
Let's start with the current first.
Okay, the current is $75,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the previous company is $140,000.
All right. So now we have 75 and 140. What other money have you socked away?
So I have an annuity. It's a non-qualified one of $245,000. When my dad died, I put my money right into that. Mm-hmm. I have my previous retirement accounts of $160,000.
Is this an IRA rollover?
No, it's actually in a annuity. It's another annuity, mm-hmm. and it's $160,000.
So this one is a qualified annuity, right?
Right. This is a qualified annuity.
And how much is in there?
$160,000. I also have two previous IRA rollovers from other employers. Mm-hmm. $85,000 in one, $26,000 in the other.
So we've got all the 401k, the two annuities, the two IRA rollovers. What else?
So I have an inherited IRA that I got from my father. Mm-hmm. It's not under the 10-year distribution because it happened in 2018. Mm-hmm. The current value of that is $37,000. I have two CDs, with $100,000 each at 3.45%, 9-month CDs. Mm-hmm. I've got $212,000 in savings. I have $5,000 in I-bonds. I have $21,000 in my health savings account. And I have $26,000 in my checking account and a $2,000 Roth IRA back when I could contribute.
Okay. Now, in any of these jobs that you've had, will there be a pension benefit for you?
No.
No pension. Okay. And where do you live? In a home? Do you rent? Do you own? What's your situation?
So I own a house. I owe $184,000. The interest rate is 2.5%, pays off in 2041, but I don't intend to live here forever.
Oh, okay. What's the house worth?
About $320,000.
Now, do I have all the facts?
Just one more. So I have a house in my previous city that I lived in. I owe $91,000. It's 3.4% interest. Loan is finished in 2037. I currently rent it, and after paying the management fee and all the expenses to maintain it, I get about $300 a month, and I just keep that in an account for any emergency with that house. It's worth $400,000.
Is there any reason that you would want to get rid of it? Just like, is it a pain in the neck? Are you keeping it for someone else? Do you have a sister who's renting from you? Like what's happening with that?
No, it was just one of those things where when I ended up moving to the north, my dad had just died and they said not to make too many big decisions in 1 year. So I decided to hang on to it. It's been great. I've been able to keep it rented, and the value continues to go up. And it's in an area where there's a lot of new growth taking place. So I just feel with 2 hospitals near the house, it's always good for incoming residents.
Okay, so let's look at the other side of the ledger. We have all the debt, but there's nothing besides mortgage debt?
No, my car's paid for. So my after contribution to my 401k and HSA, it's about $8,800 a month. I live very modestly. My expenses are about $6,500 a month. My biggest expense, obviously, is my alimony payment.
So what do you want to do? You make $185,000 now. What is it that you really want to do?
I want to get back into sales. I'm currently a manager. I like the control that you have being in sales as opposed to when you're managing people. You know, it's always your fault when stuff doesn't go right.
Okay. You have a lot of money saved. You've done an amazing job. I mean, you say, oh, I started late and this, that, and the other thing, but my God, you've got a lot of money. So it looks to me like you have like $525,000 or so in retirement and 667, let's call it 700 in non-retirement. Like, what? There's no problem here. What's your Social Security going to be?
At 70, it's about $50,000 a year because of the 10 highest years and all my years of working. So.
And I don't know if they do this, but is the alimony a straight line, like it's $30,000 no matter what, or is there an inflation adjustment?
Thankfully, it's a straight line, but it is lifetime. So it doesn't matter if I retire. So that's part of my concern. You know, when I retire, the only way I can modify it is by proving I don't have enough money to pay for it. And it doesn't seem like that they would look at what I have and say, yeah, you're right, you don't have enough. So that's my concern.
So wait a second. You're receiving the alimony, right?
No, she's paying it.
Oh, you're paying it.
Yes.
I completely misunderstood that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
So sorry.
I'm paying it.
Well, you're going to keep paying that. Sorry, kiddo. We'll get back to Barbie in just a minute. If you would like to join us on the air, all you need to do is go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions. If you've got a question, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. And while you're there, subscribe to our news service. It's called Jill on Money Live. That's where we give you access to quarterly live webinars and lots more special bonus content. You can also buy my book, The Great Money Reset, for sale at many booksellers. Just check them out. Right now, let's get back to Barbie. She's on the line from the Northeast. So when you said $6,500 a month, did that include your $30,000 of alimony?
Yeah, because I live very modestly.
How much money do you think you could make in sales and just be really conservative? Like, it's not going to be at 185 out of the gate. What do you think you could make sort of baseline to start?
I think I could probably make like 100, 125. I actually have a company that's interested in hiring me. So there's potential for me to negotiate at least that much. And then the more you do, the more you make.
Right, of course. But you did say you were going to move. Is that some sort of big change? Is it a downsize, an upsize? What is it?
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to move to Florida. I'd like to pursue a job in Florida so I could retire there, with knowing people. So I could, I would sell the house that I have in the, Northeast where I'm currently living. And I'd probably rent for a while. I'd like to buy something there because my sister and I have a long-term plan of my having a house there, her having a house in the Northeast so that we can split our time because we like each other enough to spend months together.
How much would that cost?
I'm figuring probably about $450,000 to $500,000.
And that would be like a now thing, like let's do it?
I would say it would be once I knew that I liked where I was living.
If you were to do that, would you be paying half of that amount?
No, I'd pay the whole thing.
Oh, you're a good sister. You said it was worth $325, what you own now, and you owe $184, right?
Right.
So $140, let's say $120, you'll net. You want to hang on to the rental, or can we use the equity? Can we sell the rental and use the equity from that?
I'd like to hang on to it because I'm going to have to pay capital gains taxes because I haven't lived it in 5 years.
What did you purchase it for?
So I purchased it for $150,000. I put, about $50,000 into it. It's just appreciated so much.
Yeah, but you have $200,000 of capital gains and you're in the 15% bracket. I don't know, like $300 a month of income is not so great.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Especially if you say you want to move. I mean, you can certainly kind of chill and wait and see. So the idea would be you'd get this new job in Florida, you'd move there, you'd rent, you'd sell the current place, you'd get your money out, you'd kind of chill out and see what happens next. What do I like? You'd figure out the area, and then you would have to make a decision about buying, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I don't have a problem with this game plan at all, especially because you're willing to work for 10 more years. I think that there's a few things that need to happen here. I think that the rental has to be, we have to at least have it on the table as a possibility for you, depending on where mortgage rates are. I mean, like right now, it would stink to go get a mortgage for you, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to put, $120,000 down. I got to pay 6% or 6.5% for a note. I don't know. I don't love that for you. It would be kind of great if I sold the current place, the rental, pay all my tax due, and basically be able to own my property outright in Florida. And then I feel like you're not giving up a lot income-wise. You're just leveraging you're basically saying I'm trading two properties in for one, but it's basically the same value essentially, right? In terms of the actual equity that you would be having in real estate. And then you've got all this other money that's set aside. You can float your lifestyle pretty easily. And even if you said to me, well, you know what? It's not actually this amount of money that I'm spending. I'd like to spend a little bit more. I think you could. I really do. I think that you could spend more money. Instead of $6,500 a month, could it be $7,500 a month? I think you probably can afford that. I mean, you could soak up some of that liquidity and buy the place in Florida and keep the rental. I just feel like that rental, it's like you're not actually yielding that. It's not terrific. And can we raise the rent there or not?
I have been raising the rent. It initially started out, where I was just making enough to cover everything. Mm-hmm. So I have been raising the rent. I've had lots of people approach me about buying it because it's such a hot market. But like I said, it's like the first thing I bought on my own. So it's got that sentimental value, I guess you'd say. I don't know.
You know how I feel about sentimental value about these things? I'm not sentimental at all. I'm sentimental about you being able to reset in this way. I think you can totally do it. I think you should change careers, especially if you don't like what you're doing, and change your life. And I think this is totally doable. And I think even with everything you're laying out, again, I $6,500 a month. If you're, let's make it $7,500 a month, I think you're going to be okay. Because again, the Social Security is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And then we basically have to create $4,000 a month of income for you in excess of the Social Security, right? Well, I think you can do $4,000 a month. You got money. You're going to save money. You know, you have over a million, like $1.2 million right now. Okay. That's going to grow. You're going to be fine. You're going to end up having $2 million and we're going to have to produce $4,000 a month from that $2 million. No sweat. You'll be able to do that. Here's the thing that I think, the couple of issues. I think the real estate transaction is going to be important. And I think you have to have that rental property on the table as a possibility. You know what you can say to yourself? If it's sentimental, maybe you say, you know what's so great about that property, that first thing I bought myself? It is actually able to finance this dream of living with my sister in Florida. It's a little bit of a reframe, but anyway, there's a lot of equity there. Between the equity in both of these homes, you'll have a place in Florida, no problem. So that's one issue. The second issue is I think we have to get, depending on how this real estate does go, we have to try to get some of your money invested, some of the savings, right? You have this $200,000 in CDs, then another $212 in savings. Some of that money should go into the brokerage account to get that working for you. That's the next step. And then all of these retirement accounts have got to be consolidated. It's too hard to manage everything. I would love it if we could just absolutely tighten things up and consolidate. And so now you have, one account with all of your pre-tax rollover money. That would be wonderful for you. So then you would essentially have one account with all the pre-tax retirement money, one account for the inherited IRA. You'd have the 2 annuity contracts. And, frankly, I bet the qualified annuity could get rolled into an IRA rollover for cheaper money. And you'd be set. You'd be rocking and rolling. I wouldn't invest all of the money from the savings account until you really were confirming with yourself that you are willing to sell that rental property.
If my opportunity in Florida came in the next couple of months, do you think it's okay to go for it?
Yeah, I do. I think that would be great. The thing that's kind of cool about this game plan is that you are kind of putting a reset in motion prior to resetting, meaning we're running the numbers, we're looking at it, you're sort of saying, okay, this is like a 10-year plan, which is great. And it could change. It might change between now and then. Okay. And if it does, now at least you have some semblance of okay, this is what I want to do. And it can move one way or the other. Oh, something else happened. You got all those estate documents done so the kids don't have to worry about anything?
I absolutely do. I have every single one of them done, and my kids know about all of my plans and where to find everything.
Great. We wish you the best of luck. Do you have a financial question you need some help with? Do you want to know if you're on track? All you need to do is give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and know that we will be there to help you out. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. Let's get into it. This is Lynn from New Jersey. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Hi, Jill. Good. How are you?
Doing great. What can we do for you?
So I just have a question about, my finances, obviously, and just what my next step should be. My husband and I'm 49. My husband's going to be 43 soon.
Wait a second. I already like this. 43 husband, someone finally realizing that longevity matters. You must marry a man. If you're going to marry a man, you must marry a man who's younger than you are. So well done. All right, now continue.
Actually, I did I say 43? I meant 53. Sorry.
You're
I'm
kidding.
49 and he's going to be 53.
Then you messed up. You really messed up. The whole point of this was to not marry an old fart who's older than you. I don't understand these women, by the way, who are like, I'm 50 and I'm marrying a 75-year-old. Are you nuts? Do you just want to take care of someone for the rest of your life? I don't care how much money they have. That doesn't sound like a good deal to me, ever. Anyway, he's not that much older. All right, Lynn, what's going on with you two?
All right. So we have a combined income over $200,000. We paid $10,000 in taxes last year, but I have had an increase of about $13,000 for this year. So kind of prompted me to say, where are we? What's going on? I got to figure all this out. So I ended up selling some stock that I had to pay off my taxes and to pay off some debt. So I sold about $92,000 in stock. So I'm going to have capital gains that I'm going to have to pay for 2023 taxes, along with my 2023 taxes next year. So that's kind of an issue.
Hold on a second. I just want to go back for a second. I get the paying the taxes. So you sold $92,000 in stock and you had to pay $10,000 in taxes. What kind of debt had you racked up?
Well, I had $30,000 in credit cards that I had to pay off.
Where did that come from? Did that come from an event or just like it just crept up on you?
It crept up on us. We had a business that we sold like 8 years ago. So I've been holding on to the stock, not wanting to sell anything, last resort. We were almost, we were in a situation, might have gone to bankruptcy, but we kept ourselves going. So my husband has a good job now, but the business, he loved it. But anyway, we had to sell it. And so the debt kind of crept up.
Okay. So you had $92,000 in stock. And of that 92, what's the capital gain that you have to keep set? What's the money you're going to owe in capital gains when you file your taxes?
I think it's a 15%, I think.
Okay.
So it'll be about $13,500.
Okay.
In taxes, yeah.
And did you sell that last year, the year 2022?
I sold it this year.
In 23. Okay, so we don't have to deal with this until next April, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Is all the debt gone?
So all the credit card debt is gone.
Good.
And now I have $55,000 that I'm holding in a cash reserve. So this is my question to you guys. So I have that cash reserve, but I also have a HELOC loan that I had to take out. So that is up to $64,000.
Okay.
So now I have $55,000 in cash reserve, $64,000 in this HELOC. So I'm paying 8.5, which is prime right now, plus the 1%. So I guess I'm paying 9.5. Yeah,
that hurts.
It hurts.
Okay,
because I didn't realize our prime rate had gone up to 8.5.
Yeah, it's funny how the Federal Reserve raising 10 consecutive times can just completely wreak havoc on these loans. What's your house worth? Would you guess?
My house is worth about $555,000.
Okay, and what's the primary mortgage amount that remains?
It's $344,000.
Okay. Do you know the rate of that?
I think it's I want to say it's like 3%.
Ooh, I like that. That's good. Okay, great. But there's no other debt right now besides that home equity line of credit, right?
Well, I do have car loans that are that's about $5,000 left
not bad.
on both.
Okay.
We're getting to the end with those. So my husband said, why don't we use some of that money and pay off those car loans? That's 2%. We got those at a really good rate.
Yeah. That's good. So that's perfect, though. That's fine. Now, let's go back a little bit. So the money that you had sold, that stock, is in a brokerage account. What remains in the brokerage account? Is there any other asset in that account besides the cash reserve?
No, because I did sell pretty much all the stock. So then now we just have our 401ks and IRAs.
Okay. Tell me about those. What do you got?
The total amount we have in savings is like $190,000. So it's not a lot either.
So you mean in retirement savings?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so I have a rollover IRA. It's $96,000. another one through my 401k. That's now at 19,000. My company matches at 6%, so I think I'm taking out like 12% right now.
So you're contributing 12% and you get a match. And what about your husband? What does he do?
He's a project manager in construction, and he has a 401k that's about 18,000 as well right now.
Okay, but when you said that 190, that was 190 for all of the retirement or just yours?
So yeah, his would bring us up to about a little over 200,000.
Okay, good. So 210-ish in retirement. Okay. Now, do you have kids?
Yes, so that's
all these little things. They keep eating. They demand to eat.
Yes, and they're both girls, so it's like they're just like, killing me.
Gosh. How old are they?
6. One just turned 16 and the other one is 14 and a half. So they're 19 months apart.
Oh boy.
So yeah, on my 529s, I have only about 3,000 each for them, which is not a lot at all. I try to put in like 50 a month for each, but I know that I need to take care of myself first. So I haven't been putting much towards.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to stop putting $50 a month into that. If we could get rid of that home equity line of credit, obviously, you'd feel a lot more flush. You like where you live? You're happy there?
Yeah.
Besides the sort of surprising tax bill and all of that, any other big changes that you're contemplating right now?
No, I mean, we have to, we have the 2 cars, and I'd like to get another car by next May.
What do you mean? Aren't we going to own these cars outright after you pay off the loans?
Yeah, but we were going to try to give the one car to my daughter that we paid off.
I don't think so. I don't think that's happening. No, that's not happening. We're going to share cars for now. We got to take care of this stuff. We'll get back to Lynn in just a minute. It's Jill on Money, and we'll be right back.
(401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. Let's get back on the line with Lynn from New Jersey. You have life insurance?
Yes, I have $250 for me, and my husband does not, though. I think he has like $100 with his job.
With his employer. And you guys have wills?
We do not have a will yet.
Oh, come on.
I know.
And the $55,000 in the cash reserve, any other money in cash, like a bank account or anything else in addition to that or not?
We have about 3,000. It's about 3,000. And that's it.
First things first, we got to fix this cash flow, right? You guys are going to be working for a while. I think you know that. And I'm not even talking to you about retirement this minute. I think that what happens is this. I think that, first of all, stop putting money in the 529 accounts. It's like, you're not going to move the needle. Don't worry. We just want your cash flow. So I think that right now, if you looked at your expenses, forget about the HELOC for a second. Do you know what the actual, the house and all that stuff, not including the HELOC, what your monthly expenses are?
I think that it's about 5,000 to 6,000.
Okay. What we have to do is figure out how much of that cash reserve I want to soak up. Do you guys feel comfortable, and I know as comfortable as you can, in your jobs right now?
I'm very comfortable. I feel like I've hit a place finally that is for me. I think my husband was trying to find another job. He might be looking for a new job soon.
But he is secure where he is right this second. Okay. If we looked at that home equity line of credit, what is it? What are you putting down on that on a monthly basis?
I think it's about, I think we were doing like 4 something, but I wanted to increase that. Okay.
Mark, what would you say if we took, even though I know we need some of that cash reserve, so remember that we're going to need $13,000 in that cash reserve to pay taxes next year, and we need probably 30 grand just as a baseline savings. But can we take 10 grand of the cash reserve and slap it down on the home equity line of credit?
Yeah, I would do it for sure. I don't see any reason not to.
But I don't think much more than that, do you?
Unfortunately, no. I know she wants to just take it and whack it all away, but I don't think it's not the smart thing.
It's very precarious to do that right now, Lynn, because if one of you were to lose a job, if something happened, we just need that cash. We really do. So what I'm going to suggest is of the 55, take 10 and slap it down on the home equity line of credit. The car loans are going to be done next year, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just keep paying on those.
How much are those payments?
Those are about 600.
Great. So next year, what you get to do, so we're going to take 10 grand, pay down the home equity line of credit, then increase the payment monthly from 4 something to 500 a month. Next year, the payment's going to be $1,100 a month. Okay? You're going to take whatever you were using for the car loans and paying down that home equity line of credit. I'm loath to have you contribute less to your retirement account. Mark, do you agree with that? Because they don't have a ton of money in retirement right now. So do you think that we're okay keeping the amount at her 12% contribution level?
I think they have to, yes. And knowing that $600 a month is going to be freed up next year, yeah, I agree with that.
And no new big expense like a car for your kids. You can't afford it. You have got to get this loan under control because this home equity, by the way, the interest rate's going to go down. It's now peaked at 9.5%. Maybe it'll peak at 10%, but it's going to start going down. So it's not going to go down as fast as you'd like. So it's going to go 10, 9.5, 9. It's going to go down like that, but it's not going to go down fast enough that it's going to make a big dent. 2 other things that you actually have to spend money on. Can you find out from work if you can purchase more life insurance for you and your husband? You both need $500,000. Find out from each of your workplaces whether you can buy more insurance. See which is less expensive if you can. If not, go online, go to Haven Life, go to Policy Genius, go get a quote. You really need it for... it's actually a short term. You need it for 10 years. That's it. That's all you need it for. We got to get these kids through college. That's your big risk. And then you got to pay. You either have to do a will online, or you got to pay someone who owes you a favor to draft a will for you. Those are your big to-dos. You're at a really interesting and critical point in your life because your life is going to get much better in the next 24 months from your financial position, or it's going to get a lot worse if you indulge your desire to I just want to get my kid a car and everything's fine and dandy. Don't worry about the kids. We got to get you guys set first. We're worrying right now about I really would like to buy new kitchen cabinets. And I'm saying to you, no, the foundation of the house, we got to fix that first. That's what we're going to do. You feel okay about it? I know it's kind of I'm giving you some harsh stuff, but I think that's why you called, which is you wanted to get on the right track, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
All right. I feel good about this because I actually feel like this moment is a good moment for you. And by the way, you may have sold the stock. I mean, you didn't sell it last year. So you sold it this year. At least stocks were higher this year.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
There's that.
Yeah.
All right. Deep breath with me. Deep breath, Lynn. You're going to be okay.
I know. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Need to know if you're on the right track? Just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll do everything else. You're back. It's Jill on Money. Let's get to an email here. This is from Chris. How long should I keep my past mortgage refinancing statements? I have refinanced my mortgage several times, and I'm just not sure how long I need to hold on to this stuff. Well, here's my idea, Chris. First of all, the old ones, you most certainly do not need to keep. But anything related to your taxes, you may want to keep that for at least the 6-year period where you could get an audit. And if you did not take a deduction on a mortgage or it did not play into your taxes because you were not itemizing, then you can toss everything. Now, of course, this leads me to a larger conversation about what to toss and what to keep. This is one of those issues that you need to really keep in mind, that anything that is associated with your taxes is basically a 6-year time horizon. I know everyone says 3 years, but if the IRS identifies a substantial error, they can go back additional years. They usually don't go past 6 years. So any tax returns and supporting documents, you keep those for 6 years. Anything else, like a mortgage, for example, you can toss that if that mortgage is paid off, or you can toss a statement that is an old one or an old mortgage document from a mortgage that you've refinanced. If you look at maybe those physical and electronic bills, bank and investment statements, you can keep those for a year. Obviously, again, anything for taxes, you keep that for that 6-year period. For the bank statements or investment statements, I don't keep them for that long. I really don't. I think you keep it for a year. And again, you flag anything that maybe you might need for taxes, but otherwise shred it. Same with those home improvements or major purchases. You can hold on to it until you get rid of the asset. Credit card bills, I'll tell you what, I'm done after 45 days. Goodbye. Same with utility and phone bills. Sounds like I may have to update that blog post that I wrote, what to shred and what to keep. Anyway, this is the Jill on Money Show. We hope you keep us in your hearts and on the air. So thank you so much. We've got a whole nother hour, so stay tuned. JillOnMoney.com is the website, and we'll be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money Show, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions. Again, doesn't have to be the best. We are not optimizing your life. We are trying to hear what's going on in your life, listen to those priorities, help you filter them through, and hopefully lay out some different options for you. I always feel like the whole point of the endeavor of financial planning is to present people with what their options are. What are the opportunities that are in front of them? It's not a black and white conversation. I hope you guys hear that all the time. If you would like to join us on the air, all you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and if you want to join us on the air, just check off that box, and Mark does everything else. While you're on the website, check out all the great stuff that's there. There's a bunch of free stuff. There's our free weekly newsletter. There is a link to our 2 podcasts. There's the daily Jill on Money podcast, and then there's the Money Watch podcast. So you can check those out. You can also read my blog. There are segments that I've done on CBS News in the video section. And of course, the free weekly newsletter. Mark puts this together every single week. Maybe he finds a little something on the web that you didn't know about. It's great. There's all these little hidden gems there. So you'll get that in the weekly newsletter. And if you've got some money to spend, well, I've got an idea for you. $35 will get you the Jill on Money live subscription service. This is where you have access to quarterly live webinars, more special bonus content like extra interviews like the one we just did with the automotive writer from Consumer Reports, and other cool stuff that we're throwing behind the paywall. $35 for a whole year. And then, of course, there's a link to my book, The Great Money Reset. You can buy that wherever you find your books. All right, so that's all the stuff that lives at JillOnMoney.com, and we hope you can find it easily. Right now, let's talk to Melissa, who's on the line from Florida. All right, Melissa, tell us what's happening and how we're going to get you onto a new pathway, maybe an off-ramp towards retirement.
So I've been working roughly 38 years, same industry.
Roughly.
And recently turned 60. And my spouse is going to turn 72. And so I feel like I'm missing out. And I work in a very high profile, high pressure, I would say, industry, and have had a wonderful, wonderful career. But I find myself being drawn to retiring or semi-retiring because I have some fear of missing out on time.
Well, I mean, I get that. I do totally get that. So how much are you earning right now, Melissa?
Over $300,000 a year.
Oh my God. And your spouse was working and is now fully retired?
Yes, been fully retired for several years.
Okay. Spouse receive any income like a pension or any sort, or just, Social Security? Give me a little bit of the breakdown there.
Waited till 70 and including her pension is roughly $3,500 a month, and then is on Medicare, obviously, in addition to that. And we did some supplemental as well, but the penalty for her is pretty significant because of my income.
No one really talks about that, right? I mean, I have to say that's one of those unfortunate surprises of having a ton of money and making a ton. I shouldn't say a ton, making a lot of money, because everybody, when you're listening to this is the IRMA charges. And IRMA is a surcharge on your cost of Medicare. Okay. If you make more than a certain amount of money. So for example, Melissa and wife, they earn, let me just look at this, between $366,000 to $750,000. That's probably right where you guys are. And you have to pay an extra almost $433 a month. That's a real number, right?
It is real.
So when you said the RMD and Social Security, and you said $3,500 a month, was that net to you guys?
That's net.
Okay. So that's coming in no matter what.
Correct.
What is the size of the retirement account? So let's go through and do some assets, and let's just see what you have, and let's see if we can get you to enjoy the years that, and that you feel good about that. So what do we have saved?
So I had roughly $1 million in my 401k. And when I turned 59 and a half, I rolled it over into my Fidelity account. And it has grown nicely so far. And then have that plus at least a 12-month emergency fund, an estimated $300,000 in year to 2-year CDs. I have those all kind of escalating at different times.
Oh, so it's like a laddered CD.
Yes, a ladder.
300,000. I just want to go back to the $1 million. Is that in a rollover account?
Yes, it is.
So an IRA rollover, which is worth now $1 million or more than $1 million?
About $1,100,000.
Okay. Any current money that is in other retirement plans for you?
I have probably 3 other annuities that are valued at an estimated $700,000.
Oh my!
And
okay.
And then a life insurance of policy with New York Life at $160,000 cash value.
On your $300,000 of income, are you putting money into retirement or not?
I've been anything I have that's puts me over my emergency fund. I just keep rolling it into CDs at this point.
Okay. I got it. Because you're building up your non-retirement reserves.
Correct.
I gotcha. Very smart. Okay. Any brokerage account, just a non-retirement brokerage?
No. I have like $20,000 in the Series I bonds. And then the house/condo is paid off.
How much is that worth?
Estimated $450,000 to $500,000.
Your spouse, the fully retired one, the one whom you want to spend some time with eventually, but now just is the source of all of your jealousy and envy for being retired.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Damn you for retiring.
Exactly.
Can you tell me the rundown of assets that are in your spouse's name?
Roughly about $100,000 in her accounts. I mean, she's been retired for roughly 25 years.
Wow. How much do you think you guys need to live on?
We've done the estimate on that. I'd like to have it set at about $10,000 a month.
So we know that she has this $3,500 a month coming in. What's your Social Security estimate at, say, I don't know, 70?
I did that recently. Now you're going to quiz me. I think it's somewhere around 4,500, 4,100 in that range.
Okay, 4,500. Are there any other obligations that you guys have? Kids, a parent for you or her, like anything else that's out there?
No.
We'll get back to Melissa in just a minute. If you have something going on in your financial life that needs some attention, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. We'll get your note. The Jill on Money Show will be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions. If there's something going on in your life, if you're contemplating a transition, if you're trying to figure out how to get a new career, if you're trying to figure out how to downsize, upsize, whatever it is, whatever is going on, we'd love to help you out. Mark and I are both certified financial planners, which means we love to hear the whole story. We like to try to figure out how to help you get where you want to go. And even if you're not quite sure where you want to go, maybe we can at least show you where the different paths can take you. And that's really what most of us want, some choices, some opportunities. Just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, JillOnMoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. When you do, a form will pop up. Complete the form, and when you're done, if you want to appear on the program with us, just check the box, and Mark will do everything else. Right now, let's get back to Melissa, who's trying to work a little bit less and reduce her stress level. Build me the scenario that you would like to happen. You're not going to go from 300 to 0. So what do you think could happen as an interim? What gets you to working less stress? What would that be for you?
I would like to take some time off.
Okay. Tell more though. Say more, because if you're a high-powered person, you're 60 years old, even if you took time off, I just hesitate to think that you would be going to doing absolutely nothing. Have you thought about what else that other thing might be?
Yeah, I have put some thought into that. I have found some other personal interests. All I've done really is work for the last 38 years. So, reconnecting with things that I used to do. I have had some interest in doing some teaching. I still believe that public schools serve a purpose, and I feel like I have something to offer. But at this point in time, it's really hard for me to even take those considerations because of the demand on my job.
Yeah, and your time.
And my time.
Right.
Yeah.
Melissa's kicking butt. She's working her fanny off. She makes $300,000 a year. She's now building up her non-retirement assets. So she's got this $300,000 in laddered CDs. That's kind of just think of that as your liquid fund that could get you to the next place. In addition, in her retirement accounts, $1.1 million, $700,000 in annuities, and then a life insurance cash value of $160,000. So let's just put that at $2 million. Between age 60 and age 70, remember what we have to do, gang. She said we need $10,000 a month, right? We have $3,500 a month coming in. So we need $6,500 a month, right? For the next 10 years, essentially. Okay, so we need $80,000 a year. The question is, can we do this solely on the money she has saved. And Mark, what do you think about that?
Can they do it? Yes, they can do it based on the numbers that they have right now. Not a ton of wiggle room.
Yeah, because a lot of your money has not yet been taxed. So even if we said the fidelity annuities, let's annuitize these things. Let's get your money out over the next 10 years. Let's live on that. Yeah, you could do that, no sweat. But, what's going to end up happening is that'll be depleted, right? And you still have a life ahead of you. So I would say that if you went from 300 to, say, making like a little bit of money between now and, say, even just the next few years, I don't say you have to go 300, but could you see yourself teaching and doing this, that, and the other thing and making a little bit of money? We also have to pay for your health insurance, don't forget, for the next 5 years.
Yes.
So if you could get something where, the next 5 years you're enjoying yourself, you're active, you're engaged, you have a little of income, and you get your health insurance paid for, I'd feel more comfortable with the plan. Because right now, what this plan is looking like is that you need to have a 4% withdrawal rate, right? You have to pull out this money, you have to pull out 80 grand from 2 million. And that's a little aggressive for me.
Well, and I don't see myself being able to just be retired long term.
Yeah.
I think that it's in the DNA to keep working. It's just the prospect of leaving this level of pay is scary.
But you don't have to go, honest to God, I want you to hear this. You do not have to, you're used to making this kind of money and you've made this money. That is not the requirement to make this plan a little bit more comfortable for you. I would say that if you could literally make $80,000 a year, that would be fantastic. That will make me feel more comfortable about the next few years. I don't think it's more than that. Do you, Mark?
No. She's got a lot of money saved. I mean, having this huge salary has allowed you to save all of this money. So you no longer have to have this huge salary.
So now what you've done is you've sort of created this off-ramp for yourself. And the off-ramp is the one, it's like, okay, I'm getting off the highway. I'm speeding along 95. I don't know what's the middle of Orlando or whatever you are, wherever the middle is for you. You're speeding down 95. You're careening towards southern Florida on 95. Can you tap on the brakes? Can you go from, 65 miles an hour and tap your brakes on and then go 45 miles on the off ramp before you go 30 miles when you got to the local roads? That to me is what the metaphor is for you.
Well, that's what I'd like to do. I just was looking for some feedback to assure me that I could do that. And
I think you can. I really do. And I do think that, listen, when there's an age disparity between spouses, I've run across this problem often where people are like, my spouse is like knocking around having a great time and I'm killing myself. Or alternatively, my spouse is knocking around and I really don't want to just knock around. I want to do something. And you have to know yourself. You really do.
Well, I just feel like there's some opportunity for us to enjoy life at this point, and I have some fear of missing out.
You're not going to miss out. I think you're in great shape. I really do. I think you're going to be able to do this. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I really am. Now, just one last thing. Do you have all your estate documents done?
Yes, we have a will is completed, power of attorney, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
There were some other documents I think that I would like to get done, but she's been hesitant. There's some decisions about who gets what if both of us were to pass at the same time. And so those things are kind of on my mind. But again, just finding the time to be able to take care of those on my schedule is
okay.
Is what
I had to laugh because this was like the only problem that Jackie and I had in our estate process was then when you do those weird things like, well, wait a second. If we die together, then who gets this thing, right? And then it was like, well, wait, if you die and then I die 8 hours later, what happens? And there's like this very strange thing about order of death that might, because neither of us have children. So now it's like, oh, well, what about my nieces and nephews? And like some nieces and nephews could use money more than other nieces and nephews. You know what I mean? So I actually think having those conversations they're hard. I would encourage you, if you really do have an opinion about it, to push a little bit. It doesn't really matter. You guys are both going to be in very good shape, and I don't want it to be divisive, but it would be nice to just have it down on paper.
Well, I'm going to make her listen to this.
Okay, listen. Hey, Melissa's wife, listen, it's okay. I know it's weird, but, give your money away. You'll feel good. Or just give it all to charity. That's the other option as well.
I like that option.
That's not bad. Anything else for us?
Jill and Mark, appreciate you taking time to speak with me today. I feel a lot better about where I can go with this and a
Fantastic.
plan. Yes, I really do appreciate it. I'm glad I reached out.
If you're trying to figure out where to go next in your career and your financial life, just give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are here trying to help you navigate your various financial decisions that are ahead of you. If you have a question, it could be a question about maybe an upsizing, a downsizing. Should you buy a house while mortgage rates are still high? Should you sell a house because prices are really strong in your neighborhood? Any real estate related question, I love those. Maybe it's a job offer. Maybe you've got two different offers and you need to weigh which one is better for you and your family. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to reset your life. Like in my book, all those characters came from this show and from the podcast. People who really wanted to figure out how to do something different with their lives and not just go ahead and grind to 62 and then call it quits. You have options. You have opportunities. All you need to do is get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button, and we'll get you on the air. Right now, we're talking to Ed and Gladys. They are from New York City. Tell us what brings you to our show. So welcome, and why are you here?
Okay, well, Gladys is retired already, and I'm looking at retirement towards the end of the year. And we wanted to see if everything is good and if we should be doing something different, with our money that we have.
So, Gladys, what did you do for a living from which you are retired now?
I worked for CUNY.
So you worked for the city of New York in the university system. Does that mean that you receive a pension right now, Gladys?
Yes, I do.
How much is that pension?
$6,000 a year.
$6,000 a year? That's it. That's a teeny tiny amount.
No, well, I only put in the minimum requirement.
She only did like 10 years there.
I see. I thought you were about to say $6,000 a month, and I was getting excited.
No.
I think you would be excited too about that.
That's true.
So why don't you tell me, Ed, what is the amount of money that is in Gladys's retirement account?
Okay, she's got $56,000 with one employer that she had, MetLife, and that's in stocks. And she's got $74,000 with another one that she was with. That's what she has in her 401k.
So there's two separate 401k accounts. One's 56, one's 74, right?
Right.
Okay.
And Roth IRA, both of us have $166,000 in Roth IRA with Vanguard, $44,000 in a high yield CD.
The high yield savings is like your emergency reserve fund?
That's Roth IRA also.
Okay. So when you said 166,000, did that include the 44 or not?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. What else we got going on here? Tell me more.
All right. I'm still working, but I'm retired also from federal government, and I get a pension. My pension is $40,000 a year.
Good.
And with that, I'm in the TSP. I have 376,000 there, 40% in the C fund, and the other 60% is in stable. My current employer, I have 300,000 in a target fund and 50,000 in a Roth part of that.
So the 300 in the target fund is traditional, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ed, how much are you earning right now?
86,000.
Do you have another account, like a brokerage account between the two of you, or is what you just gave me everything you have?
No. We have a brokerage account that's 376,000 in stocks.
And so in addition to that brokerage account, do you guys also have an emergency reserve, a bank account, like a slush fund outside of retirement, outside of investing?
Yeah, we do have that. And I don't know how this really got to where it is, but I'm going to give it to you. We have 174,000 in high interest savings account.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 210,000 in high yield CD. And 9,000 in a checking account.
Okay, so here's my next question for you guys. Because you have income, right? You have your earnings from work, Ed. You also have your federal government pension. We have Gladys's pension. And you look at all that money coming in. Do you have a sense of how much money you need to actually live your lives? Like your monthly income need?
Oh, Jill, one other thing I didn't give you.
Mm-hmm.
Gladys has been collecting her Social Security, and that's 18,000 a year.
Gladys, how old are you?
68.
Okay. And Ed, how old are you?
67.
So you got a lot of income. Well, what do you think the need is?
Well, the last 2.5 years, I've been tracking our spending, and it's at about $4,000 a month. But I would really rather say 5,000.
Okay. When you retire at the end of this year, Ed, what is your intention? Is it to claim Social Security or do you plan to wait?
I was planning on waiting because I get a pension from the federal government. I think it's going to affect my Social Security.
You're going to have an offset of some sort.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And I looked at that. At 70, it says I'll be entitled to 2,200
with the offset.
No,
okay.
Without the offset. So
okay, it's still going to be something. So just when you tell me these numbers, I know this is not an exact science, but the 40 grand from the federal government, that has COLA, has cost of living adjustments. So we know that will go up with the rate of inflation, which is great. Gladys's Social Security, same thing, has a COLA, which is great. So here's what we now know, which is great. You have $64,000 a year that is coming in gross, right? You get taxed on it, right? 64,000 essentially, kind of covers most of your needs. Now, let's say that you got to pay tax on it because, you're married and you're good people and you're in a tax bracket, you pay your 12% tax bracket. But let's say we needed to grab, I don't know, $1,000 a month, $1,500. We want you to be able to not worry. You pay your taxes and you have the net of $5,000 a month. You have it. There's no problem. We'll get back to Ed and Gladys in just a minute. If you and your spouse, partner, anything, maybe it's a parent and maybe it's an adult child, whatever, we can accommodate. Just click JillOnMoney.com, hit the Contact Us button, and we'll get you on the air. We'll be right back.
.401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are here trying to help you answer your financial questions. Before we went to the break, we were on the line with Ed and Gladys from New York City. She's already retired. And the question that we were asking was, can he retire at the end of the year? So if you're trying to coordinate some of your timing issues, we'd love to hear from you. Just like Ed and Gladys, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Let's get back to Ed and Gladys right now. This is like a great situation because it doesn't sound like you guys made millions of dollars a year ever, but
Right.
you sure have squirreled away a lot of money, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
If I ask you the dumb question, you have to give me just your visceral answer. What's the problem here? Why contact us? You know you're in good shape. What's going on?
I wanted somebody else to put their eyes on it and see what they think.
I think you're in great shape. I really do. Now, there's a few little things that I would take a look at. So, you have the thrift savings plan, right? And you also have Gladys's 2 old 401ks. Now, what I think I would try to do is I probably would start to take whatever the cash needs are every year. So let's say that you needed some money before your Social Security kicks in, or you want to go on a big trip or something like that. What I would encourage you guys to do is to take money out of your retirement accounts and just make sure you have total income of less than, let's call it $89,000. That will keep you in the 12% tax bracket. So if you have $64,000 right now in income, 40, 18, 6. This is, again, we're pretending it's next year, right? Now
Right.
you no longer have your $86,000 a year of income. So now what I would encourage you guys to do is take 20 grand a year out of, I'm going to start with Gladys's retirement account. And there's a very specific reason why. I have a sense that those old retirement accounts, one you said was at MetLife. Where was the $74,000 one?
BlackRock funds.
All right. So I would look at that MetLife one and start pulling money out of that and just get the money out of there over the next few years. 20 grand a year. Again, you want to keep your total income under 89,000. You're going to stay in the 12% tax bracket. The reason why I think this is important is, first of all, right now you're in the 22% highest bracket. So we're now going to pay taxes at the 12% bracket for you, which is great. When you need money, you may be saying to yourself, oh, I'm just going to use my cash account. I wouldn't mind it if you could sort of dribble money out of your retirement accounts, because you are going to be forced to take that money out. And when you are 75 years old, because of required minimum distributions. I don't know where tax rates are going to be. You might find yourself that today's dollars, you would be actually paying taxes at a lower level. In fact, there could be a case for you guys to convert some of your money to Roth. So let me ask a couple of questions first. Do you guys have grown kids?
Yeah.
Yes.
How old are they?
Oh, they're all launched.
They,
Like in their 40s or 30s?
Yes, in their 40s.
40s.
Do they make a lot of money?
They do well.
Okay, here's why I'm asking that. You have more money than you need. You're not going to outlive your money. Your money will outlive you. There is some argument for you guys to convert, to not just pull money out of these accounts, but to convert them to Roth accounts and have you pay the tax at, say, the 22% bracket. You won't be able to stay in 12 if you do this. The bet would be that 22% bracket for you guys will be lower than whatever your kids would have to be paying in their future when they inherit assets.
We did convert some money to Roth, some of Gladys's. But it was only $15,000 this past year. So we are a little comfortable doing that.
I think that it would be nice to clean up some of these accounts, because obviously having the money in, say, that Roth Vanguard account is probably going to be cheaper and more efficient than keeping it in a MetLife old 401k. Okay. I would look at maybe, before your age 73-ish, that you would be focused on converting Gladys's and get that done and have all that money come pouring out, convert it. But again, stay in the 22% bracket if you're going to do this. 22% would mean that you could have income of up to $190,000 this year. In your case, interestingly, you already have a lot of cash. You've heard me probably talk on the show when I say don't do a conversion later in life because I don't want you to soak up the liquid asset that you've accumulated, but you have so much money in cash. I'm thinking you guys doing the $5,000 a month is perfect. But if you decided that you wanted to splurge and have an extra like 10 in a given year, that's not going to hurt you. You're going to be fine.
Great.
Okay. Now, a couple last questions. You guys own your own place?
Yes. Yeah.
How much would you say it's worth?
At least 1.1.
And mortgage or no mortgage?
No mortgage.
No, of course not. If you would like to come on the air with us, it is so easy. Just go to JillOnMoney.com, check out all the great content that lives there. And while you're there, hit the Contact Us button and we will get you on the air. Mark does all the hard work. The Jill on Money Show will be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money. Before we finish up the program, let's do an email. Remember, if you've got a question, you can always send us an email. JillOnMoney.com is the website. Contact Us button will get your email. Now, this is from Michael, who said, a recent column of yours stated that earnings from 529 plans are not subject to federal or state taxation. I am a resident of New York, and I have established 529 accounts for my grandchildren. I have withdrawn funds for the past 5 years for higher education costs. And when filing my taxes, my accountant has added those earnings to my income. I have questioned this more than once, and he stated that the earnings are taxable to me, but not to my grandchildren. I would very much appreciate if you could clear up this information. Okay, so without me just going to that article, I'm going straight to the source. I'm going to the New York State College Savings Program, which is, the website is nysaves.org. So the first thing it says is direct plan tax benefits. It says the money in your direct plan grows deferred from federal and state income taxes. So that's while you're accumulating. Okay, then it says make tax-free withdrawals. You won't have to pay federal or state income taxes on the money you withdraw to pay for qualified higher education expenses at eligible educational institutions. So I don't know, was it not an eligible institution? Maybe that's possible. It does say earnings on non-qualified withdrawals could be subject to federal income tax and this penalty, as well as state and local taxes. So I just want to make sure that the kid went to college that was that would make it qualified for a distribution. And maybe we can just have your accountant give us a little bit of a reason why. Maybe I'm missing something. And if I am, I really want to learn what I'm missing. Okay, that is it. That is the program. We thank you so much for listening. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer. Try to lift someone up today. Change your work. Change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.